This is the news on NTA International. I'm Lami Ali. Precious Ozoimena is the sign language interpreter. And we begin with the headlines. Federal High Court orders Shores remand in Kuje prison pending determination of motion for stay of order. British Prime Minister resigns from office, says despite woeful performance at Thursday's local election, he puts UK first in every decision. Information Ministry celebrates 2026 Civil Service Week, urges workers to recommit to ideals of efficient public service. Now, the British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, has announced his resignation on Monday after less than 2 years in office. Speaking outside number 10 Downing Street, Starmer said every decision he has taken has been about putting the country first.
The question my party is asking now is whether I am best placed to lead us into the next general election. I have heard the answer of my parliamentary party to that question, and I accept that answer with good grace. Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning to inform him of my decision. I will ask the National Executive Committee of the Labour Party to set out a timetable with nominations opening on the 9th of July and completed by the summer recess. In the case of a contest, this will ensure a new leader is in place before Parliament returns in September. I will remain in post as Prime Minister until the contest is complete, and I will do everything I can to ensure an orderly handover of power.
After an overwhelming victory that brought Keir Starmer to power as Prime Minister and Labour leader, things have fallen apart, bringing his popularity and leadership to their knees. Comfort Fashion takes us through the former PM's landslide win to the point of his resignation.
Keir Starmer came to power in July 2024 with a landslide majority of 172 seats, ending 14 years of Conservative rule. The former Director of Public Prosecutions promised stability after years of chaos. Of course, one cannot say Keir Starmer is leaving the position of Prime Minister without an impact. He launched Great British Energy and Great British Railways. He struck a reset deal with the EU and led the coalition back in Ukraine. Starmer also negotiated a ceasefire to end the Iran war. But this did not match up to the people's expectations, and promises were indeed mere words, as his administration suffered a prolonged cost of living crisis, endless policy U-turns, a scandal over Peter Mandelson's appointment as Washington ambassador after his ties to Jeffrey Epstein emerged. Starmer's approval rating crashed to -57. The electoral collapse was brutal. In May 2026, Labour Party lost 35 councils and nearly 1,500 councillors. Welsh Labour fell to third place for the first time in 100 years. The projected national vote share, 17%, joined third with the Conservatives.
I think a lot of people are just not believing anymore.
Yeah, very fed up.
Yeah, very fed up. Too much change, but nothing really is changing for the better.
And
for the country, because the country has got so many challenges and problems that need addressing, and they are not being met or addressed.
By June, over 100 Labour Party MPs had called him to go. On 22nd June, Starmer announced his resignation. He stays in office until a new leader is chosen.
Being the best husband I can to my fantastic wife Vic, who has been a rock by my side through good times and bad, and being the best dad I can to my beautiful children, who are my pride and my joy. Thank you very much.
Nomination opens 9 July. 2 years, a landslide win, a collapse in support, and a resignation that triggers Labour's first leadership contest in a decade. Comfort, fashion, NTA News.
Ethiopia's ruling Prosperity Party has secured a sweeping victory in the country's general election, extending Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's mandate for another 5 years. The result comes amid security concerns, but with strong voter participation that authorities described as confidence. Adobe Bechina has the details.
President Taye Selassie praised the election process, saying the high voter turnout demonstrates Ethiopia's commitment to democracy, peace and development. He described the exercise as one that reflects the country's aspiration for a stronger future and long-term national stability.
The turnout, as you see, it is very exceptional. I was quite stunned and surprised. I didn't expect that the number of turnout will be more than 94% in each electoral district. The voting process and the entire turnout is indeed a testament to every Ethiopian that we love democracy and we love also our country.
Provisional results for the National Election Board shows that the Prosperity Party won 438 of the 501 parliamentary seats contested. However, voting could not take place in several constituencies, including parts of Tigray and Amhara, due to conflicts and ongoing security challenges. With another term secured, attention now turns to how the government will address security concerns, national unity and development priorities. The election outcome reinforces the ruling party's dominance while highlighting the challenges that remain in parts of the country. Adobe Obiechina, NTA News.
Fresh diplomatic efforts to end tensions between the United States and Iran have recorded an early breakthrough, with Washington announcing Tehran's agreement to allow international nuclear inspectors back into the country as negotiations continue in Switzerland over a lasting settlement. Here is the report.
U.S. Vice President James Vance described Iran's decision to readmit inspectors for an International Atomic Energy Agency as a significant step towards rebuilding trust. The announcement followed the opening of talks aimed at addressing concerns over Tehran's nuclear program and regional stability. Negotiators from both sides have agreed on a roadmap intended to deliver a final agreement within 60 days. Technical discussions are expected to continue throughout the week, focusing on uranium enrichment, verification measures, and broader issues linked to the recent conflicts. The return of IAEA inspectors could mark an important turning point in efforts to ease tensions and prevent further escalation. While major challenges remain, both sides appear committed to pursuing dialogue and seeking a durable framework for peace and nuclear oversight. In other developments, the meeting in LC Palace formed part of ongoing political dialogue aimed at deepening strategic partnership between both nations. Discussions are expected to focus on Albania's European Union membership process and France's continued support for the country's integration aspiration. Preparations for the upcoming NATO summit in Ankara also featured prominently on the agenda. The talks underscore shared interest in regional stability, security cooperation and strengthening diplomatic engagement, while building on a series of regular meetings and consultation between both leaders. The visit highlights the growing relationship between Albania and France as both countries seek closer cooperation on European and security matters. Observers say the discussions could further reinforce Albania's path towards EU membership and strengthen regional partnership in Europe. Adobe Obiechina, NTA News.
Now, Vice President Kashim Shettima has called on traditional rulers in the country to leverage their critical role in fostering peace and unity so as to complement government's efforts in tackling security challenges for national development. The Vice President stated this in Lafia during the 70th birthday and valedictory celebration of the Emir of Lafia, Justice Sidi Bagi Mohammed I. Aliu Tijani reports.
The ancient city of Lafia came alive as eminent personalities from across the country gathered to honor Emir of Lafia, Justice Sidi Bagi Mohammed, on his 70th birthday and valedictory celebration. Leading the federal government delegation is the Vice President Kashim Shettima, who describes traditional rulers as indispensable partners in nation building, noting that their wisdom and leadership remain vital in promoting peace, stability, and grassroots development. The Vice President pays glowing tribute to the Emir, whom he described as an icon of law and tradition, applauding his remarkable transition from the judiciary to the throne and his unwavering commitment to humanity.
As chairman of the National State Council of Chiefs, he has become a custodian of harmony in a land where many tongues, many faiths, and many traditions meet.
I'm one of the luckiest governors that came in around the same time that Emir of Lafia was coming in at the Emir of Lafia. As a result of that, it gave me the opportunity to learn from him, just like Justice Tijani mentioned that he was learning from him.
The Emir of Lafia, Justice Sidi Bagi Mohammed, while reflecting on his journey at 70, expresses gratitude to God and pledges to continue dedicating his life to the service of humanity.
Today, I am 70 years, and I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that.
Among the dignitaries at the event, including Professor Babagana Umar Zulum of Borno State, commend the Emir for deploying his wealth of experience in supporting governance and development in Nasarawa State.
We wish the Emir long life and prosperity, and may Almighty Allah in His infinite wisdom give him more wisdom and strength to serve His good people.
As part of his visit to Lafia, Vice President Shettima inaugurated key development projects that include roads and a hall named after him, underscoring the Tinubu's administration's commitment to infrastructure and inclusive growth. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
Is still on the Emir's birthday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu pays tribute to Justice Sidi Bagi Mohammed I, Emir of Lafia and Chairman Nasarawa State Council of Chiefs, on his 70th birthday on June 22, 2016. The President describes the Emir as an exceptional jurist and a revered traditional ruler, who distinguished himself during his legal career from serving as a judge of the High Court to a justice of the Court of Appeal, and ultimately to the pinnacle of the judiciary as a justice of the Supreme Court. The President recalls his ascension to the traditional throne as historic in many respects, acknowledging that his reign has brought fresh ideas to the Lafia Emirate, fostered peace in the kingdom, and advanced justice and national unity. President Tinubu praised that Almighty Allah will continue to grant the Emir many more years of good health, wisdom and service to the people of Lafia and beyond. Now, civil servants have been reminded to recommit themselves to the ideals of efficient, productive, incorruptible and citizen-centered public service that contributes meaningfully to the renewed hope agenda and the development of Nigeria. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, gave the reminder in a message as the commencement of the 2026 Civil Service celebration by the staff of the Ministry of Information and National Orientation. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
The 2026 Nigerian Civil Service Week is holding from June 22 to June 28 with the theme Transforming Public Institutions, Advancing Innovation, Participation and Inclusion. During the week, Activities are planned to focus on digital transformation, creating a smarter and more agile public service.
We are celebrating all
At the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, the Permanent Secretary, on behalf of the Minister, is in the forefront at a sensitization program for the staff on the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan as part of activities marking the 2026 Civil Service Week.
We must resolve to intensify efforts in the formulation, development, and implementation of policies on information and national orientation geared towards delivering our mandates. I therefore urge all officers and staff to continue to uphold the core values of the public service: integrity, professionalism, excellence, accountability, and patriotism.
Develop competencies relevant to their current and future roles. Demonstrate professionalism, innovation, and commitment to service excellence.
So my charge to all of us is to begin to imbibe that culture of creativity, imbibe that culture of innovation, whereby things are done in a different way.
The key motivator for the civil servants is an improved salary. We are still expecting government to give us the salary that will take us home.
Civil Service Week is being celebrated in Nigeria to honor civil servants, promote professionalism, and strengthen their capacity to contribute effectively to national development. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
You're watching News at 7 on NTA International. Time to take a break. To return with more stories after. Do stay tuned. Trial of former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, continues on Monday, with the Department of State Services, DSS, calling its second witness. Judiciary correspondent Austin Anyabe reports.
The defendant, Nasir El-Rufai, was granted if fulfilled the conditions, was in court to face trial on allegation of wiretapping of the conversation of the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, a charge preferred against him by the Department of State Services, DSS. Upon commencement of proceeding, the prosecution called its second witness in the matter, in person of human rights activist Deji Adeyanju, who was subpoenaed by the court. Being led in evidence, Deji told the court that he appeared on the same program that the defendant said they listened to the conversation of the NSA. A flash drive containing the interview was tendered through him to the court, which was admitted in evidence. The court proceeded to play both the interviews of the defendant and Deji Adeyanju, where the witness in the interview said El-Rufai should be investigated but not persecuted. He said El-Rufai cannot hide under security agencies arresting him without warrant of arrest, as he had ordered arrest of so many people while he held sway as governor of Kaduna State without warrant of arrest. The statement he wrote when summoned by the DSS after the program was equally tendered and admitted in evidence by the court. During cross-examination, the defense lawyer Paul Erokoro, senior advocate of Nigeria, sought to know whether he had the defendant Nasir El-Rufai in the interview said he, El-Rufai, listened to the NSA conversations. But the witness said he had him said, we listened. With the conclusion of the cross-examination of the second prosecution witness, Justice Joyce Abdulmalik adjourned the case to Tuesday for continuation of trial and hearing on the application for variation of bail conditions. From the Federal High Court, Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
We remain with the Federal High Court, where its sitting in Abuja ordered the remand of Omoyele Sowore, the presidential candidate of African Action Congress in Kuje Prison, Abuja. Justice Mohammed Garba Umar, in a short ruling, ordered Sowore to be kept in the prison pending the hearing and determination of his motion for stay of the order for revocation of his bail and bench warrants. Again, Judiciary correspondent Austin Anyabe brings us the details.
Justice Umar, in his ruling, dismissed Shore's earlier application seeking his requisite from the case on the ground of alleged bias. The judge then adjourned the matter till June 24th for hearing of the application for stay. The motion for stay was filed by the defendant's new lawyer, Adeyinka Olumide Fusika, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Shore arrived at the court in company of members of his group with placards. Justice Umar had in June 16th revoked a bail granted to Shore following his failure to appear in court for his trial. The DSS is prosecuting Shore for allegedly making false claims against the person of President Bola Tinubu by referring to him as a criminal in a post he made on his X and Facebook accounts, offenses that contravene the Cybercrime Acts. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
As political activities gather momentum, stakeholders are calling for issue-based campaigns to achieve a peaceful society before, during and after the 2027 general elections. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the Nigeria Youth Organization wants political leaders to do their best to ensure that inflammatory statements are avoided during the campaigns. The youths particularly called on the political leaders in Ebonyi State and the Southeast in general to consider the already tense security situation and ensure that they guide their followers in the right direction to avoid crisis. They expressed optimism that the youths will not be lured into political crisis, but do their best to achieve a peaceful electioneering period.
The Nigerian Youth Organization wishes to make it abundantly clear that our intervention is not directed against any individual, political party, or government. Our concern is the protection of democratic culture, political tolerance, and peaceful coexistence. Leadership demands responsibility. Leadership demands restraint. Leadership demands accountability.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed Professor Oluwatoyin Temitayo Ogundipe as chairman of the governing board of the National Universities Commission, NUC. He succeeds Emeritus Professor Olufemi Raphael Aina, who resigned his appointment after less than 1 year in office. President Tinubu appointed Professor Aina in July last year, and the board members were inaugurated in November 2025. Professor Ogundipe, former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Lagos between 2017 and 2022, is a professor of botany with expertise in molecular plant taxonomy, biosystematics, ethnobotany, cytogenetics, forensic botany, and ecological conservation. He holds a PhD in botany from Obafemi Awolowo University and an MBA from the University of Lagos. Currently, Professor Ogundipe, 66, serves as Pro-Chancellor of Redeemers University at the Osun State. He is a fellow of several professional bodies, including the Nigerian Academy of Science, the Linnean Society of London, and the Royal Society of Biology, also in London. Leisure Hospital, one of the leading private healthcare providers in Abuja, has conducted another medical outreach at Mopol 44 Barracks, Kuje, benefiting over 500 residents. The initiative is part of the hospital's corporate social responsibility efforts aimed at improving access to quality healthcare and supporting the federal government's commitments to making healthcare services affordable and accessible to Nigerians. Rukaya Najid reports.
Residents of Mopol 44 Barracks in Kuje turned out in large numbers to benefit from the free medical outreach organized by Leisure Hospital in collaboration with the Police Health Maintenance Organization, HMO. The outreach provided beneficiaries with free medical consultation, screening, and essential medications aimed at improving access to quality healthcare services within the community. Director of Administration, Leisure Hospital, Sharon Suleiman, says the initiative is part of the hospital's corporate social responsibility and commitment to bringing quality healthcare closer to people.
So we are now coming out here to give for easy access to patients or for the community so that they can get everything here for free. For medical consultations, some people don't even check their vital signs like blood pressure, and we also do very basic labs like malaria, blood sugar.
So far we've been able to exercise both enlightenment on the scope of the National Health Insurance Scheme, and also we've been able to enlighten them, sensitize them on the workings of the scheme.
Beneficiaries, including women, children, and elderly, express appreciation for the intervention, describing it as impactful in addressing their healthcare needs.
And due to the economic situation, there are many of us that are sick that cannot afford going to hospital, but with the privilege having you guys around us today, at least we are happy, we are so delighted.
Medical personnel have identified possible cases of schistosomiasis among children in the area, likely linked to swimming in the river. Parents are advised to stop their children from swimming there and seek medical attention for any child experiencing blood in the urine. With this latest outreach and several others planned across communities, Leisure Hospital says it remains committed to supporting the federal government's effort to improving public health and make healthcare more accessible to Nigerians. The hospital, located at number 24 Kitwe Street, Zone 4, Abuja, reaffirmed its readiness to continue providing quality healthcare services to the public. In Abuja, Rukaya Najait, NTA News.
From Health Check, we now go check Tuesday's weather prospects. And that's the news at this time on NTA International. We thank you for watching. Precious Ozomina has been the sign language interpreter, and I remain your sincerely, Lami Ali. Do have a good evening.